Booker, Stryker, Pele of the band The Hives. Nice to see you, man.
Thank you. Nice to see you guys, too.
Thanks for being here. I'm glad we wore collared shirts today because you look way better, but we feel like we're not too far off right now.
I'm doing good.
All right. Hey, so
Doing good for being on the radio and all, you know.
on a scale of 1 to 10, rate us on our faces for radio.
I mean, it's kind of awkward because you look really good. I mean, I thought a face for radio was supposed to be bad or whatever.
Well, that's how we see
I'll
ourselves.
take
Or
that as a
actually,
10.
Irrelevant, I guess, is the face for radio.
With social media,
Yeah,
everyone's
film
doing
you on-
everything.
It's impossible these days. Like, you can't. You're going to a radio station and play some music, and then you got to perform for people, and then what you perform sounds worse, but it looks better.
Right.
It's really hard to do both at the same time, you know.
Yeah.
That's why they only let me do it.
The end of August, the new Hives album comes out.
I'm as surprised as you are.
Is it
We
done?
were-
By the way, let's start
It's
there.
done, yeah,
Completely
yeah.
finished.
Yeah, completely finished, supposedly.
Well, why? You asked why is it taking so long to come
All
out
right.
then?
Why is it taking so long? Because it's not even what month is this? April? Why do we wait for so long?
That you'd have to ask the record company people that are hiding behind the camera.
Oh, those
I guess
people.
they got to make people excited about it before putting it out.
I'm excited
as
now
opposed
because
to-
you're here.
Yeah, so am I.
Enough is enough. And I saw the name Mike D. Produce? Mike D? Wait, what? So how did Mike D, Beastie Boys, end up on your radar? And then, more important, working on the full-length album?
Yeah, I mean, we've known him for a while. We did a tour with Beastie Boys in like 2004 or something. And in 1994 or so, when we started our band, the Beastie Boys was the coolest sounding thing we'd ever heard. And it kind of still is. And we were making a record, and we're like, who has the coolest sounding records? And the answer is kind of always the Beastie Boys. So we figured we'd call him, ask him if he wanted to get involved with a little corner of our record. And he was. He sent some, we sent some songs over.
Mm-hmm.
He did to them what he wanted to. And then he came over to Stockholm for a few days to fiddle on them in the studio, which was fun. It made, all our other, like the engineer and the other producer and stuff, really starstruck. They started stumbling over cables and stuff because he was there.
Did he do anything differently to you that kind of blew your mind that you went, oh, I never thought of trying that before?
Well, mostly, I mean, in a few ways, but mostly it was like he sang a line on one song called OCD-OD, or Obsessive Compulsive Disorder Overdose. And as soon as we heard his voice, it's like, that's a Beastie Boy.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was going to play organ on a thing, and he started just like, I'm going to try the sound of the organ. And he started playing like an iconic Beastie Boys intro.
Mm-hmm.
Got goosebumps then too. It's really fun. I guess that's just what he plays when he sees an organ.
Josh Homme is part of the record, and we know that you've worked with him before, but I want to stick with Mike D for just a second more.
Sure.
When you're bringing in a guy that you have loved so much, were you at all have any nerves inside that, it may not go well? Or it could go amazingly well?
Well, I mean, there's things he wanted us to do on the record that we didn't want to do, so we ended up not doing them. It's
Okay.
only still our
Easy
record.
to say,
no,
we're not going to do that.
Yeah, it's like some ideas he had we thought were great. Some ideas we thought our idea was better. Like, it's easier than you think. You can't be too nervous. Like, we're going to have to live with the record and all that stuff. But it was really fun.
Bring it back to Josh, I guess. Josh is just a fun guy. Like, he's awesome to be in a studio. He used to have a studio here in Burbank.
Oh, yeah, we recorded there a couple
You
of times.
did?
Yeah.
Okay, so
At Pink Duck. Yeah.
I've seen him work before, and it's just laid back and kind of fun. Did he bring that to the project, or is he?
Yeah, we're really unlaid back as a band. Like, we work only with negativity. Like, we complain about everything until it's good.
Well, he'll
That's
fit in
the
for
only way
that.
we know how to do it. Like, we just complain at each other until there's only a diamond left. But Josh is like such a great cheerleader, so I'd call him and like send him the songs, and we'd talk about the songs, and he'd be really supportive and like, why do you want to do that? It's already great. Like, you just put it out, which was amazing. I just really like talking to him about creative stuff and about anything really. He's a good friend.
Yeah.
How did you first meet him? Because I love hearing the Beastie Boys thing you said. When did Josh or Queens appear on your radar years ago?
The first time we met them was probably I think it was the first Coachella we both played. Like, they played with Queens, we played with Hives, and our old bass player's big Queens of the Stone Age fan, and kind of a an out there guy. And I just saw him walk up to Josh and start talking to him. And for a while, it looked like he's just like a big dude.
Yeah.
And all that gang kind of felt so like masculine and muscle car-y and all that stuff. And
Which he drives.
Our bass player is such a like sweetheart and totally like innocent. But I thought you could tell, like I was kind of far away and I saw him walk over to Josh, start talking to him like they were barbecuing or whatever. And you can tell Josh thought that he was making fun of him for a while. Or like he wasn't sure what is this person. But he's just like, he's like a cartoon character. And after a while, you could just tell, like, oh, I get it now, and just, like, start hugging it out and stuff. So I think that's when we first met.
You guys, veterans in the rock music scene, and we saw you at our Wet Leg
still
show.
so young.
And yet so young. But we saw you at our Wet Leg show the other day. A younger band, they are. So do you as the, someone that's done this for quite some time versus a band that's sort of getting into it, do you go out of your way to see these young bands and introduce yourself? How does something like that come down?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if I like him, it's kind of collegial, like, courtesy, I guess. Fun to see Wet Leg, good band. It's not... most things are less complicated than you think if you just stop paying attention to what people think or feel. You just walk up to them and say hi, and it's usually fine.
Yeah.
Enough is enough. We're going to play that on our show. Can you give us a nugget on where this one came about when making all of the new songs? The 7th full-length album, again, comes out in August. Tell us about this one, then let's press play and hit it.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of an early idea. I actually recorded the first version with completely different people in LA like a decade ago. I just realized when we put it out, and a friend of mine who like played on that first kind of session just, hey, that's that song we recorded. But it was very different then. It's gone through many, many changes. Kind of same thing, distilled it into a little nugget. It was coal, became a diamond. And kind of a long and arduous process. But then we've decided a long time ago that we're not picking singles because we picked the wrong one. The one that was our big breakthrough hit, Hate Sartorius, we're like, that's not the single. It's a totally different song. And since then, we're very humble. So we let other people pick, and they picked that really early on because like it's got like a big riff, and people are going to go to the show, want to go to shows if you play them this one, and stuff like that.
What is I'm thinking back to my first show that I saw you guys. I think it was like Irving Plaza, maybe in New York City in 90-something. Maybe, I don't know, 2000. I don't know what it was, but it was a rock and roll show. Yeah. And it was this, almost, you don't care. You're just having fun, kicking ass. What do you think the state of like rock and roll, rock music is? Because look, you're still dressed up. You look cool.
Yep.
It's a different day and it looks a lot different. What's your take on all of it?
Well, I mean, there's always amazing rock and roll if you just scratch the surface a bit and find it. But the state of like mainstream rock to us has always been a little bit shit. So you got to kind of scratch a little bit. But I mean, I don't really know how it's different. I'm so in Hives world that I don't kind of see what's going on outside it. Wet Leg, whatever. There's tons of good bands. And it's always alive if you just look for it, I think. I don't want to be one of those guys like, there's no good bands anymore,
Yeah.
Because I know that's wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
But maybe I haven't heard them.
But the best band is the Hives. And if you're looking for...
thank you.
I know you're always
Hear
looking
that?
for cover bands. Booker and I...
Right, we do a Mean Hives cover
We won't
band.
do you justice.
Oh, wonderful.
But we're available to go to any city, maybe like Upland or Bakersfield, to do a Hives cover show or something like that.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. I mean, we did we wanted to support the idea of the tribute band, so we started sending them stuff and kind of helping out, booking shows for them and stuff.
Right.
So whenever we did like a UK tour and we had a tribute band play a bar nearby after us all the time, so if you don't get enough Hives, you can go see.
Did
the
some
next
of them
best
really
thing.
blow you away? Like, my God, these guys
There was
are...
one with like a 9-year-old kid on vocals. That was pretty great.
Yeah.
That was probably the most accurate to me energy-wise.
All right, we're going to see you play at the Palladium in 2025. The new album comes out in August. And, man, we really appreciate you coming to Alt 98.7 and hanging out with Booker and Stryker here.
It's been wonderful. Yeah, everybody's got to go to that show, by the way.
They'll be there.